more of a companion than a pet. They stick by you no matter what. It doesn't matter how popular you are, it doesn't matter how many friends you have, it doesn't matter if you have your makeup done. If you come out there and you see them and you feed them and you give them treats, they just love you to death. My journey into the equestrian world began when I was 14 years old. The first horse that I actually got to show was named Midnight. He'd follow you around like a lost puppy. He was a 17-hand Percheron gelding. Actually, this past summer, I found out that he actually had passed away from a heart attack. Even though I didn't really know him for that long, it was probably like 3 or 4 months. Still, it was still heartbreaking because, like, he was there. Like, I got to know him. After Midnight, a family friend actually had horses, and she had a little quarter horse mare, and her name was Annie. With Annie, I actually joined 4-H, and I was showing in the local 4-H shows. She also taught me that you didn't have to have the best horse, the one with the papers, the one that was worth more than $10,000 to actually have fun and actually win something. It was more about the hard work that you actually put into it rather than the horse itself. Getting to know Annie was the best thing that's ever happened to me in my entire life. Over the past 3 years, I volunteered at a local kids camp. The camp actually had horses of their own, and the pastor who owned them, he saw that I loved horses, and I absolutely fell in love with one of his ponies. And he actually gave me the opportunity to lease her, and her name was Ivy. And with Ivy, she was this green pony who basically didn't want to do anything and gave me the hardest time of my life. She bucked, she tried to throw me off several times. She tried to run me into a fence, and she basically ran into every other horse that we were riding with at the time. But I loved her anyways, so we ended up showing in 4-H. I also showed Annie at the time I was showing Ivy, and we did very well once it came to the end of the 4-H season. And everyone that saw us show and saw the improvement that I had actually made with Ivy, it gave me the opportunity to be on the school's equestrian team that I don't think I would have been able to do because I didn't have the money, but the people actually seeing me work with this horse and making progress, they knew that they needed me on their team, so they gave me a full scholarship. And that actually made a huge difference in my life. It gave me the opportunity to see what it was to compete at the higher level, and it showed countless other people that I could take some horse that didn't really have a future and actually show them that you just had to try hard and you had to put effort towards something and it could actually work out. By the end of show season, I was informed that Ivy was not really getting along well with the rest of the herd, so my trainer, she told me about this other pony who the owners actually wanted to rehome because they didn't have room for her at the time. So after countless hours and days of deciding what I wanted to do, I ended up deciding to end my lease with Ivy and go with this other pony. So 2 weeks later, I met this new pony, and her name was Stormy. She was actually an 8-year-old Welsh Quarter horse cross, and she was the shortest and stubbiest little pony I've ever seen. So 2 weeks after I had brought her home, I ended up renaming her because I didn't like Stormy and I didn't think it fit her very well. So I named her Fago due to her red color and her fizzy personality that she had. Over the course of a couple months of training and preparing for our first show, we went to it, and she sat in a stall all day watching while I showed Annie. And by the end of the day, there was a class that I was like, okay, I suppose Fago could do it, and we did it, and she ended up placing about 6, I think, out of like 20. So I was pretty proud, and it was very emotional because that means that it wasn't just one horse I could take that didn't really have a future and give it a purpose. Probably one of my biggest accomplishments of showing her was we competed in a equitation over fences class, and I've never actually done it before, and neither has Fago. She's never jumped once in her life, basically, and we went out there and we gave it our all, and there was about 6 of us in the class, and we ended up placing 4th. And we ended up getting a very big round of applause by the end of our round because they knew that I had never done it, and neither has my horse, and they were just really proud. So that really made me happy. When someone asks me why I ride horses, I tell them that it's because I feel free. There's nothing freer than riding out in a big open field on the back of a horse. I had some amazing horses to actually be able to work with over the past few years, and all the stuff that I've learned with every single horse, Annie, Midnight, Ivy, and now Fago, I know that they will prepare me for everything that I have to accomplish in the future.